In this video, I'm working on the final painting details, beginning with the end in mind. Then I'll be working in the darkest darks, the verdant greens, to create structure and support within the artwork. And finally, I'll inject some high-key accents and weedy bits, including marks that create interest within the artwork. Hi everyone, I'm Roxanne Dyer. Thank you for joining in. This is the fifth of 6 videos in the Canopy of Peonies series. I hope you like the video. Back in 2018, I attended a painting workshop in Santa Fe presented by a group of my favorite contemporary painters, the Artists Guild. David Leffel told us to paint the finish. I think those were his words. My understanding was to get the values in so that you could see the balance and structure in the artwork as soon as possible. I've already painted in a lot of the midtones and especially placed the most intense pigments, the reds, to establish a focal point in this artwork. But it's time to get in the light values, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm beginning here by fluffing in some creamy and rosy whites that describe the light bouncing off the blooms. This has to be soft and fluffy because the character of these gorgeous peonies is soft and fluffy. There are very few hard edges, so I'm using a filbert brush to create the appropriate effect. I really love this brush, it's one of my favorites. I'm also painting wet in wet here, as you can see, and that helps to create the most wonderful soft edges. Before adding in the verdant greens, I stop and evaluate my progress. This can take a few minutes or even a few days. If I want to continue painting and keep consistent textures on the canvas, it's necessary to get back into the painting as soon as possible. With oil, there's a little more leeway, so here I'm using oil, so I do have a little more time. But if I stop for a few days and the painting dries, well, that can be a big problem. Brush strokes change considerably, and the passages within the painting may not be as fluid. They will definitely not be as fluid. In this case, I moved forward within an hour or so and continued my painting. Here I'm building up the reds before putting in my greens. And at this point, I'm switching brushes here to one with a good edge, and this is a nice one. I thought about whether the feeling of the artwork was going in the direction I wanted. It had to be delicate but strong. I'd also started with a very clear idea of how I wanted it to look, and that usually gets me about halfway there. It wasn't cohesive at this point, but I remembered considering that by the time I'd completed the stems and leaves, it would be closer to the mark, to the finish, and really telling a story. Then I would just have to brush bits together, but that's in the next video, so you're going to have to come back to see that. I generally approach paintings in stages, as this video series suggests. It took me about a month to actually paint Canopy of Peonies, and it's one of many images that I captured in the summer of 2019. Events around the world had inspired a collection of paintings that I completed during 2020 and 2021, and then I had exhibited those in 2021. Canopy of Peonies was painted 2 years later in 2023. It's worth pointing out that an artwork can manifest quickly, spontaneously, or it could take years. Strokes for the stems in particular have to offer a sense of strength. Crisp edges help make that happen. In our mind, we read these things as denser, heavier, and stronger, so a painted edge, and especially one dark in value, makes that idea more solid in the image. These shapes are also quite flat and appear to turn in within the plane of the canvas, creating some depth. I like the jagged shapes, the subtle color changes, the lines and the direction. Some nice fresh green patches here, giving a sense of light passing through the leaves, all an illusion. Very nice to create. Bit messy here, talking to myself. The next video will focus on finishing details. I'll keep you posted. It should be in a couple of weeks. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, please like and share and leave your comments below. Bye for now.
Shoot. Oh well, I don't like that.